Kristen Miranda has live for us this morning, the 50th anniversary of the Attica Rodeo. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning. Yeah, it's the big 5-0 here, they keep saying. There's a lot of history at this rodeo. It is this weekend. It's tonight and tomorrow and Sunday, and there are 2 shows over the weekend each day, Saturday and Sunday, and then 1 show tonight. Lots going on here in Attica, and we're going to have quite a show for you today. If you've ever wanted to know what a rodeo is like, we're going to show you every little part of it, and we'll have plenty of animals doing crazy rodeo style things. So there's plenty to see this morning. Don't go anywhere. I don't know if you remember last year we were here, and a few years ago Stan was here and rode a bull. I'm not going to be doing that today, just so you know.
There are still parts of Stan in the mud, I believe.
There are, and they still talk about Stan to this day here at the rodeo.
Everybody's still talking about Stan to this day. Thank you, Kristen.
Yep.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Big year for the Attica Rodeo. It's turning 50, and that's where Kristen Miranda is this morning. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning. You know, guys, I was just doing an interview for a story that we're going to share with you at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and I was inside this pen here, and I was interviewing one of the gentlemen on a horse, and I turned around when the interview was over, and the whole pen was full of bulls, and I thought, maybe it's time to get out of here. Maybe it's not safe for me to be here. But they tell me that all of these animals are very wonderful and safe, and that I was in no danger at all. We are at the Attica Rodeo. Brody Wheeler is here with us this morning. It was your uncle that helped to start this 50 years ago.
Yes, he was only about 17 or 18 years old at the time. So for, a senior in high school, pretty big deal. At the time, they didn't realize the implications, 50 years from now, or 50 years from then, that it would grow to be one of the biggest rodeos in New York State, let alone biggest rodeos on the East Coast. But throughout the years, a group of people have dedicated themselves wholeheartedly to making sure that this rodeo continues on. And here we are today, 50 years later, and we've got just a spectacular show for everybody to watch.
Well, it is this weekend. It starts tonight. It runs through Sunday here in Attica. It's not that far away from Rochester. Don't think it's that far. The gentleman who is here to announce the first rodeo here in Attica 50 years ago is here again today. So we're going to talk with him this morning. We're also going to show you, they're going to buck a horse for us and buck a bull for us and show us all sorts of different things that they do that you'll see if you come down to the Attica Rodeo this weekend. So we have plenty of interesting things to show you today, guys.
We should point out for our viewers that there are 13 and CW shirts that are yellowish like you're wearing, and there are red ones.
Correct.
And you didn't wear a red shirt today.
I actually don't have the red CW shirt.
Maybe a wise choice.
So I went with the yellow.
Yeah.
And I can already tell you, because I had to climb over this fence here to get into the ring, that I'm already filthy. But that's what the rodeo is all about. That's what the rodeo is all about.
All right, Kristen, we're going to have some fun there coming up, and we want to check back with Tricia Cruz now.
She's at Camp Stella Maris this morning. They're celebrating the 35 years of service there for one of their camp counselors. They have the horses, they have the bulls, and they have Kristen Miranda at the Attica Rodeo this year. Good morning, Kristen.
Oh, what are you wearing now? Now you're wearing red.
Yes, because I didn't get your reference before.
Oh.
I was like, why is he asking me why I'm not wearing red? I don't understand. Oh, bulls, the red. So we added a little red to my ensemble today.
Well, great. Now you're a target. Great.
Now I'm a target. They're going to come right at me. Now we're perched high above the. What do you call this, Brody?
The arena.
The arena. It makes sense. We're perched high above the arena so that we can watch this part of the rodeo that takes place in every rodeo. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to see.
Well, saddle bronc riding is probably the most traditional event of the rodeo. It's probably the one event that people most associate with rodeo. It's the classic event of rodeo. It's an event that really started the rodeo. Basically, what would happen back in the 1800s, when ranchers, they would have time off, they would basically compete. Who's the toughest cowboy? Who's the best rider? And they would saddle up these what they call green horses, green broke horses, and they would buck them out. And that's really how rodeo started. It was the very first event that rodeo was created from.
Talking to one of the swearingins that are here this morning, they were saying, you can tell when a horse wants to do this, and you can tell when a horse is done doing this.
Oh, absolutely. The horses are an integral, actually all the animals are an integral part of the rodeo. If you don't have the animals, you don't have the rodeo. And so these animals are taken care of incredibly well. These animals, they're Sam's, bread and butter. So he treats these animals honestly better than a lot of people treat their own pets. So yes, if the animals aren't willing participants, if they don't have that drive and that determination to do what they need to do, then they move on and they find other animals to do that job. But the cowboys want horses and they want bulls to really be active and buck real hard.
Well, I'm going to have you give them the high sign to do this, and then while they're doing it, I want you to talk to me about what these guys out here are doing. So go ahead and give them the high sign.
Yeah, we're going to give a wave here. We're going to cue the Bronc rider.
So now, this doesn't take very long, does it?
No, you only get 8 seconds to make your ride. Now you'll notice, there he goes. He has nothing to hold on to other than the rope, the one rope. You've got one hand. Saddle bronc is a very interesting event in that it has very little to do with how strong you are. Bull riding, bareback riding has a lot to do with your strength. Saddle bronc is more about timing and technique. And what you try to do is get into a rhythm with the horse. Horses have a particular rhythm. And so the cowboy wants to sort of match that horse move for move, only using the rope with one hand. He has nothing else to hold on to. So again, the key for saddle bronc riding is your technique, your timing. It's more of a finesse event.
And the other two riders that are out there are just there to kind of bring the horse back in.
Yes, we call those, they're the pickup men. And in the event that the rider does make an 8-second qualifying ride, the way that the rider would dismount gracefully, so to speak, if there's ever such a thing, the pickup man will ride alongside that bucking horse, and that will give the rider an opportunity to reach over and grab the pickup man and then dismount the horse.
We saw that happen this morning. They were just doing some runs out here this morning, and it's amazing how easily it seems they get from that running bucking horse onto the horses of these pickup men. It's unbelievable. It's like perfect timing, guys.
Easy for you to say. I think maybe just for fun, we should put you on one of those things.
Evan.
Do you think that would be fun?
I don't think so.
I think the station has excellent liability coverage.
No, Will. No, Will. It would not be fun.
I think maybe we should put Will on. That's it. Will.
I would like both of them to come back in one piece.
That's a good point.
So
the station does
Thank
probably
you, Holly.
lots of liability.
See, Holly's the nurturing maternal one. Evan, you just don't care.
I know. 6 months ago, I would have been like, "Do it."
Oh,
now
yeah.
I'm all no.
All right, Kristen. Well, we're
How
having
things
fun. We're having
change.
lots of fun with Kristen Moore coming up from the Attica Rodeo.
We'll have more on that soon, but first we're going to check in with Kristen Miranda. She is at the Attica Rodeo this morning. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, the Attica Rodeo starts tonight, runs through the weekend. There are 2 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday. And it's not that far from Rochester. We have on 13wham.com, we've put a link to the Attica Rodeo site so you can check out all the information you need if you want to come down here this weekend. You know, in a little while... that was a horse. In a little while, we're going to buck a bull for you so that you can see what that's like, because that's one of the main attractions here at the rodeo. So I'm working my way up to that, and before I get there, I found something that's my speed. This is Dusty, and this is Kiwi, and Kiwi's my speed. Tell me a little bit about Kiwi.
Kiwi's a 5-year-old miniature. It does tricks, and she's been on the rodeo circuit for about a year. She's very high-spirited, but she's part of my entertainment crew.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about what you do here at the rodeo.
I'm strictly entertainer. I try to make people laugh in between any part that's a little slow or in between the events. I'll come in with an act. I have some ponies that do tricks and some other things.
And you've been doing this quite a while.
I've been doing this, I'm 37, and my grandfather was a rodeo clown. I've been clowning rodeo since I was about 2 years old.
Tell me about this lifestyle, because I think people don't get it if they're not in it.
No, I compare it to like race car driving. If it's in your blood, you just do it. It's very unique, but it's not for everybody.
Well, you said Kiwi's the best pony that you've had doing this kind of stuff.
This is, yes, at home.
At home, that's
Yeah,
the thing.
she
She's
has
got stage fright.
and we're gonna work through that, but it might take a year or so. But yeah, she's very good at home. Get her out in public, but that's why it's a clown act. They're gonna laugh because you never know what's gonna happen.
Well, show us some of the things that you and Kiwi can do together.
Let's see what she can do. All right. First of all, she rides. Most of the time, she rides. All right.
And you say she's strong enough to handle you.
Oh yeah, she's strong enough to handle. Oh, well, maybe sometimes. And then, oh. Okay, maybe she's not strong enough to handle me.
She just didn't want anything to do with you.
No, I'll get her up though. I can ride her this way too. Just like a motorcycle, because I got 2 handlebars. That don't always work though. So when she gets up, I'm just gonna sit right on her, get right up here. Oh, whoop, well, that didn't work.
So much for that too.
That didn't work. Let's see what else we can do. Maybe if I give her a kiss, she'll get up. Oh. Well, let's see if we can finish the act. This is the part that we do good at home, but we don't do good on the road. Good girl.
Hey, good job, Kiwi.
And then we can, when we get done, we can take a bow for everybody.
All right, so much for that stage fright. Kiwi really performed today.
Well, there ain't a crowd here, so if everybody comes to see me, if we do use her, it will be a treat. It might happen and it might not happen.
So if you come to the Attica Rodeo, keep an eye out for Kiwi, and if she's out here, you're in for quite a show. When we come back, I told you earlier, the gentleman that announced the first rodeo here is back again 50 years later, so we're going to talk to him when we come back, guys.
All right, thank you, Kristen.
All right.
We can do this. We're going out to Kristen Miranda live at the Attica Rodeo, where they're probably doing things that we cannot do, Kristen.
No, Evan, I want you to take notes. This is how you're going to learn to do this for when you come out here to the Attica Rodeo. Do you have your pen and you have maybe use the back of one of your scripts?
Yeah, I've got it. Go ahead.
Well, this is the bull riding portion. And Brody, tell me a little bit about, you said these guys, the kid that's going to ride this bull is 17 years old. You said they start really young.
Absolutely. In fact, it's a young man's sport, definitely. There's not too many cowboys that last, 10, 15, 20 years in bull riding. This is the type of event, really rodeo in general. You're born into it. So a lot of these guys start out 5, 6 years old. Very common that they're 5 or 6 years old when they start. Now, of course, they don't start off on these large bulls. You work your way up to that point. But it is something that you're born into, that's in your blood. And so, as a 5 or 6 year old, you're put on calves or steers, and you're sort of just trotted out there, and you try to do your best, but you work your way up to bigger and bigger stock.
What is the danger factor of this sport?
Well, the danger factor is really the unpredictability of the animal. You really, for the most part, you sort of know the bull's tendencies, whether they're going to come out, turn left, turn right, whether they're going to spin or jump. You sort of do know that about the bull. But beyond that, it's man versus beast almost. And so the cowboy, in effect, is trying to outmaneuver the bull. If you know your bull's going to come out and turn left, you have to position yourself for that turn left. Now, of course, every bit of adjustment that you make, that bull is going to counter. And it's really it's a matching of wits. Can you outsmart the bull? Can you, your core strength in your body, are you strong enough to stay with that bull and match him move for move?
I want to make sure we give enough time. We have about a minute left. Quickly as you can to explain exactly what's going to happen.
Basically, we're going to buck a bull out, and what you're going to see, the cowboy's going to come out, and he's got a flat braided rope. He's got his hand in that rope, one hand in the rope. He's got to have one hand free. He's going to use his core strength to sit as centered on that bull. His chin's going to be down. He's going to be watching the back of that bull's head. He's going to use his body and his weight to keep himself centered.
All right, give him the high sign.
Okay, here we go.
Now they got to get out of the way quickly once they're kicked off that bull.
Yes, they definitely have to keep their wits about themselves. That's what the bullfighters are for. When you come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you'll notice they're going to have a couple of bullfighters in the arena. Now, of course, what the bullfighters do is when the cowboy hits the ground, the bullfighters jump in, basically sacrificing their bodies to distract the bull away from the fallen cowboy.
So that is just a little example of what you'll see if you come out here to the Attica Rodeo this weekend. Evan, I hope you took copious notes.
All right, Kristen, great. Thank you very much, and thanks to everybody out there, and we will have your headlines when we come back.